I did not get to have a super productive day today. I was sneaking closer and closer to the 100,000 sub mark, and I kind of wanted to catch it this afternoon. It was super exciting to finally hit this milestone. It still blows my mind that I ever got 1,000 people to follow along with my horse adventures, let alone 100,000. So thank you so much.
Huckleberry, come here.
I feel like I should do something to celebrate, but this evening I am gonna devote some time to catching up on a few chores. It has been a little bit treacherous with the weather lately, and tonight is finally a beautiful evening. I started off by dragging my arena. I'm really trying to get rid of all of these weeds. I'm gonna drag the dry lots this evening, put out some new round bales for these boys. I did have an appointment in town, but I decided to go ahead and cancel it and just enjoy the nice weather we're having.
Hey, little girl. Hey, girl. Come on. First of all, oh, you sleepy? Oh my gosh. What are you doing, girl? Tiny.
Tiny has been taking her new job of guarding all of the winter hay extremely seriously. She loves hanging out on top of these bales, and most days if she's not out and about, I can find her up here taking a nap. I have a feeling she was a little bit annoyed that I woke her up this afternoon. This time of year, Tiny gets a little bit extra frisky because there's a nip in the air in the mornings. It seems like she is a little bit upset that I've ruined her routine for the day.
Tiny?
I'll let her get back to her nap
tired
while
girl.
I feed the horses, and I expect that she'll come out to supervise me here in a little while.
Hey.
It hasn't been very many days, but I've already noticed that Nigel is acting a little bit more spry.
Bill.
It could certainly be the weather, but I think the medication is helping him a little bit.
Come on, old boy. Nigel?
Nigel has been getting his pill once a day in the morning, and at evening he still gets his mash, and I give him a tiny bit of ration balancer. Just in the last couple of days, Scarlet has really started to enjoy her time in this smaller arena. She is not doing nearly as much galloping around, and I think she's feeling pretty confident in her surroundings. I completely gave up on using my new turd sled. It just was way too much trouble for me. These dry lots are big enough that I can harrow them every other day, and the smell really is not a problem.
Come on, boys.
Since it was really nasty out the last couple of days, these boys have not been able to get out on pasture overnight because it's been so wet.
Come on, boys.
I'm going to bring these boys in and then close them in their dry lot so the other boys can have some time in turnout.
What happened to your bow, buddy?
It is looking like it's going to be a gorgeous sunset this evening. We've got just the right amount of clouds in the sky. There doesn't appear to be any storm clouds on the horizon, so it should be a perfect evening. I just cleaned out the shed and the dry lot and gave it a little harrow, and it looks pretty nice in here.
Come on.
This time of year can be a little bit tricky. I need to get the pastures harrowed so it breaks up all the manure, but with the grass being so dry and crispy, I do have to wait until there is quite a bit of moisture in the ground. I did notice we do have our first little coating of snow on the mountain, so I should be able to drag the pastures in a week or two.
Come on.
With these boys contained in their dry lot for the evening, I can now go over and turn out the other boys and bring them a new round bale. I think today I might also have time to make this other dry lot a little bit bigger for Ziggy.
Boys.
I have been able to feed him separate from the other horses. They do know the routine pretty well now. That typically doesn't stop Gus from trying to steal his food when he's already finished his own. I don't know if he thinks I'm not very smart for a human, but Gus always just casually tries to sneak up to Ziggy and steal his food. After Ziggy is done with his dinner, I will go ahead and open up this dry lot and then get started on moving these panels around.
Hey, Zig. Hey, buddy. See, boy. Okay? No more snacks. Zig. Zig, good boy. Zig.
Huckleberry.
Hey. Zig. What are you doing, Zig?
I decided to just move one side of this dry lot first. I was having a hard time getting the T-posts out, and this gives it a little bit of extra room. I can always move this side as well, but hopefully it'll give Ziggy a little bit of extra space to stay out of the way of the other horses. It will also give me a lot more space so I can just harrow this dry lot instead of picking up the poop every single day. With another task crossed off my list, I can now go and move a round bale in for these boys. It looks like Stewie and little Gus are having a little bit of a scratch session. It only took me a few tries to get this round bale over. I did kind of shred the netting a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to take it off anyway. These roly-poly boys are extra excited about a brand new round bale, even though they do have some of the crispy grass to eat out there. I really wish Ziggy would be more of a part of their little herd, but I think he just likes to stay away and have his own little space. I haven't seen Goose going after him very much anymore, but I think he is just gotten into the routine of staying out of his way.
Come on.
With the sun going down, it looks like I'm running out of time to get extra chores done this evening.
Okay, come on,
Thankfully,
boys.
all I have to do is get these boys back in their dry lot and let the other boys outside.
Nose. Okay, boys, come on. Where's Zig? Oh, Zig. Easy go. Come on, Zig. Here, Zig.
Ziggy was having
Some hay
trouble
over
being
here.
brave enough to eat with the other horses, so I kicked him a pile of his own hay a little bit away from the new round bale.
You okay, Zig?
I'm really glad Ziggy has been able to hold his weight, but I would like him to get a little bit more plump for the winter because I know he's
Hey,
gonna burn
Huckleberry.
through a lot of calories when it gets super cold.
Come on. What's up, Gus? Goosey?
Just moving the one side of the dry lot a few
Okay,
feet
come on.
farther does really open up this space.
Here. Tiny.
I do think I am going to eventually move this side as well, just so the horses have lots of space to roam around in the
Come on, little
winter.
girl.
Until there is quite a bit of snow on the ground, I like to keep the horses off the grass just so they're not ruining it. With Tiny out to supervise and
cat.
these boys all tucked in their dry lot with their new round bale for the evening,
Tiny.
now I can go over and turn the other
on,
boys
Tiny.
out.
Tiny. Come on, Tiny. Boys want to go out? Oh.
Little Gus has been kind of creepy
What?
lately. He just sneaks up right behind me every time I come in to let these
Pete.
boys out in the evening. It looks like Pete is getting a good scratch in off of the new round bale that these boys got this morning. He is looking quite handsome on top of their little mound of dirt. It seems like every evening Little Gus and Whiplash
Dylan.
have a little competition to see who can smother me the
Boys.
most.
Go on.
It is around 6 p.m. and the sun is really starting to get pretty low in the sky. Even though these boys were out for a lot of the day, I'm going to turn them out this evening just so I can get them back on their normal schedule.
Come on.
He wastes no time getting out and moving over towards the freshest grass. The reason the other boys have to go in the smaller pasture instead of this one is because there is still some green grass out here. The neighbor's irrigation does have some
Round 'em up,
overspray,
Huckleberry.
so it's always getting watered, and it would be a little bit too much for those other horses to eat the fresh grass. It looks like Tiny is also following us out into the pasture this evening. She knows better than to
Watch
wander
out,
out
Huckleberry.
here when I'm not around. There's just too many big birds that could come down and swoop her up. But when I am out here, she gets much more brave.
Whoa, Tiny! Tiny! What are you doing, girl?
This field typically gets rotated, and this will be the first season that there's corn here.
Come on, Tiny.
Huckleberry and Tiny do like to pounce around in the corn stalks, but it's a little bit dangerous because there are some coyotes that live in this pasture as well. I'm trying my best to supervise them, but it is really difficult to see them through all of this corn.
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry
Come on, buddy.
sometimes gets on little side missions, so I do need to make sure he's not running off and getting after the coyotes. I'm
Nice.
really glad I decided to take some time out for myself tonight and stay a little bit longer at the barn because it is turning into a beautiful sunset.
Tiny. Come here, Tiny. Come here. Tiny. Stewie. Oh, Stewie. Hey. Huckleberry. Tiny. Pete. Huckleberry. Boy. Boy. Stewie. Come on, Tiny. Come on, buddy.
When the boys finally get back to the far pasture, I do still have one more chore to do before I call it a day. Before I completely run out of daylight, I do want to get
Tiny.
Scarlet's pen cleaned out, and I would like to drag it as well. Tiny is taking her sweet time coming in from the pasture. I don't want to leave her out here alone, so Huckleberry takes over Tiny's supervising duties. I've done a whole lot of
Tiny.
reflecting today as I was going through my chores. It is really cool that I hit the 100,000 sub mark a little bit less than 2 years after I very first started my channel. It has been really awesome to see everybody that enjoys hanging out with me and the horses. I know Tiny has her own little fan club as well. I've had a ton of ideas for videos this last year. Some of them I've been able to make, some of them I still have on a list. I really appreciate all you guys always tuning in while I try and get it together and get videos out for you. I was thinking as kind of a 100,000 subscriber celebration, I would do a little Q&A. I don't think I'm ready to do a totally live video, so if you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I will pick out a bunch and answer them on the next video probably.
Hey, buddy. Tired?
Poor Huckleberry looks like he is completely tired out for the day. Tiny looks like she's just getting ready for an evening of mouse patrol. I'm really hoping this milestone doesn't go to Tiny's head, but that is pretty unlikely. As I wind down for the evening, I just wanted to thank you guys one more time. All of your comments of love and support really do brighten my day, so thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.